Age, time is an idea that has been ringing in my head for quite a while. Like, are there really time for things?
There's a particular pin tweet by Aki Alabi. He was actually pointing out to the fact that time will just pass. Get that degree, whatever you want to get it done. You will just see in 5 years' time, you are done.
So this is the owner of KFC. The man created KFC at a later age. KFC is what it is today. When you don't do something when you are supposed to do it, it can be difficult to do it when you have.
In a few days' time, I'll be entering an age where age now begins to sound very, very serious.
Okay, what do you think in terms of politics? What age do you think works?
There are actual limitations as far as politics work. Not until 35 can you become president of Nigeria, even if you are Tinubu's son. Some people will say, age, we need young leaders. It will fix our problem. Have you forgotten Tinubu was once young? Showore is no longer a youth. So
if I want to approach from a legal angle, I'll just say something like, some things are statutorily decided. There are some things you can't do unless you are 18 above. You cannot enter a completely valid contract unless you are 21 and above.
Me and Josh were having a conversation there. They said, will I advise somebody to go and be learning graphic design right now?
In 2025.
2025. I'm also doing this thing with ChatGPT. It won't take me 10 minutes to get it done.
I have a rebuttal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rational Dialogue. Yes, you heard me right. We are back. Asikpadade, from where we went to Ibola Lona. I don't know, but as you all know, my name is Elon Jobs. All of you know me as Elonia, the guy that used to talk about single mother. Lẹ́nu kan, àwọn tó mọ̀ mí délé, wọ́n mọ̀ mí as bọ̀dá ẹ̀gbọ́n TikTok. Tí wọ́n máa ń dá wàhálà alẹ́, tí wọ́n máa ń dá túròtù skalẹ̀. Èmi rè mo ti padà dé. We are back on Rational Dialogue. Now, you can see already, I'm giving you the vibe that Rational Dialogue is taking a new dimension, which is there's going to be a lot of sweetness, vibes, so that you all can enjoy what you have to offer you here, so that it doesn't sound these people that are drunk on intellectualism having a conversation among and between themselves. Like I always do, on my right, I have the Judas Iscariot, and there I have Josh. Josh, you are welcome. How are you doing? Where have you been? People have been asking about Rational Dialogue. Where have you guys been?
They say I've been to London.
To see the Queen.
To see the Queen.
Dan Smith, you two, you have been to London.
Paris.
You have been to Paris? Yeah. Paris? A lot of people were in my DM. They were shouting, why? What happened to Rational Dialogue? We want the conversation back. Come and talk about it. Come and interview our daddy, our mommy, whatever. B. Tracy, I know it's law. I know it's because you are in school and all of that. Was that the case?
Yeah, I've been...
Okuron, my boy. Okuron, guy.
UCL Berkeley, abi.
Okuron.
I've law school is not easy.
Okuron, guy. What is Paroju? Which law school? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight into business. Today, it's our first episode, season... What season are we saying? Season 3 or 4? Or maybe season... Editor will put the season up. Because me, I don't know. I have no idea. But basically, we are welcome to this season. And this is the first episode in this season. And I would love us to start with something that has to do with number. We should start from first and foremost kind of approach. Age. Time. It's an idea that has been, ringing in my head for quite a while. Like, okay, we have been in a gap, we are back. Some people will say, oh, this Rational Dialogue thing is something we should be doing 2 years ago or 5 years ago. Some will argue that, no, what experience do you have? These young people, what do you know about life that you're having Rational Dialogue about politics and whatever. You should be doing it after you have attained all this success and all of that. So, how do you feel that, right? How do you put that into perspective? I think we have discussed this in season 3 or 2 or before. But this time I want us to look into something different. Like, how do you put that into perspective? Are there things that can be done at one right time or not? Are there really time for things?
I think when I was still growing up, but when I was even much younger, they used to say, focus on one thing, make sure you do it right, and all of that. I like that idea. I like it. But growing up, I've seen that some people do things simultaneously. Mm-hmm. For instance, we are law students.
Exactly.
Right now, law students. Anyways, don't worry, you still see me in white.
LLB in view.
LLB in view. I saw our is it our brother? I saw Dino Melai. He was called to They say, Dino can.
Respected fellow.
Then we went and we saw what happened at NBA.
Mm-hmm.
It was people like Dino, Kanayo that were doing law on the pass.
On the side.
That were given bigger seats at the auditorium that particular day. You know, so it shows that, I think there's a particular pin tweet by Aki Alabi. He was actually pointing out to the fact that, see, time we just passed. Get that degree, get that, whatever you want to get it done. You just see in 5 years' time, you are done.
I was shocked when I realized that $2 million is in 400 level now.
In fact, you know that guy that does that your clothes, that customize that your clothes. He came to come and say hi to you that thank you. This is that. He said he came to see Elena that he's done with school. I said that same guy, he's not finished. So time flies, and
honestly,
so it's never too late and never too early to get on things that are important to do. So I think that's what I've learned.
That's what's your perspective on that? Because I have a rebuttal, you know, and I will talk about that later. So what's your premise on that?
I actually buy into that perspective. That it's never too late. You can do whatever you want to do. This is a owner of a KFC. Think the man did created KFC at a later age.
At 95 or something like that.
95, and KFC is what it is today, right? But also, the other part of it is that we are all humans, right? And the way we are created,
we are human beings.
The way we are created, some of us, our health fails.
That's true.
Right? So when you do something, when you don't do something when you are supposed to do it,
do them.
When you have the agileness to do it,
okay,
it can be difficult to do it when the other part happens. When you have ill health, maybe
sure. That's true.
You couldn't proceed with it. So I'm kind of in between. It's never too late to do whatever I want to do, and also it might be too late to when you no
do some
have
things.
To do some things.
Be Tracy, give me the legal wisdom. What's happening here? Do you think that's the case? Like,
if I want to approach from a legal angle, I would just say something like some things are statutorily decided. Like
statutorily decided.
You cannot say that you are going to. There are some things you can't do unless you are 18 above. There's some things you can't.
Don't forget that you are talking to fellow learned colleagues.
You cannot.
Fellow learned colleagues, please. Please mind your tongue. You are talking to fellow learned colleagues.
You cannot enter a completely valid contract unless you are 21 and above.
Okay.
So there are those legal restraints that
same thing. You cannot even enter a club.
Yeah,
they are less than
21.
Exactly.
Can't drink alcohol.
So those are
earlier
like
today, I saw Tobilola posted a friend of ours that just clocked 18. And she said something like legally standing or something. I was like, she just clocked 18 or she graduated from law. And she said she just clocked 18. I was like, no, she's not legally standing anyway. She can just have sex, you know, basically. But for the majority of the other things,
she can consent to many things.
She can consent to sex and
many other things like that. But
many other things like that.
Too.
You can drive, okay.
But when it comes to
contract,
something like
marriage
contract,
everything, he's 21. She's not even legally. She's still half legally standing as at that point in time. I'm a learned colleague. I'm a learned. See, in this season, I will rub it on you people's face.
I swear to God.
Oh God.
I swear to God.
So this, I said I have a rebuttal because I noticed one thing. Many young people will just start out and say they want to start doing charity. For instance, you know, I have a very close friend of mine, female friend for that matter, that she has a charity organization. And we're having this discussion, a couple of times ago. And I was telling her that one thing I strongly believe that it takes, they say charity begins at home, right? We went for a charity event and we noticed one thing. They have siblings and brothers that are millionaires or even possibly billionaires, all right, in that gathering, the owner of the charity. And you can still see the lacking in the resources to cater for the charity cause. The rice they gave us is not the kind of rice I will serve on my birthday, even on my birthday. think about it like that. Like the rice, the chicken inside the air. I was like, what is this? Do you get the point? You can still see the way they are seeing, there are older people, elderly people, 80, 90, and co. And they are still, trying to make best use of resources. You get the point? Not talk of you that you are young, you don't have your first kid here, your second kid, you don't have your first job, and then you are doing charity, right? And I think most people do several things that of that nature. Charity is just the extreme case that I can find. People do things that you probably should be doing this for lecture. You like it's at this point you can't become Ronaldo again. Don't go and tell me that you're doing 18 hours or 80 hours of practice a week playing football. You that you're already 30. Which football club want to sign you again? What are you doing? There are just things that by this time I'm expecting you to relegate it to leisure, right? You can't take charity because as your full course when you are just young. You are not even build your own career. It's somebody that build a career and a network that has with the reputation that a lot of people will bring resources to their doorstep to fund their charity cause. Those are examples of things I feel. And then another thing that there are things that are restricted by age, but just by definition. Just the same way we look at the legal angle, like, some things like before 18, you cannot qualify. 21 is when you are qualified. And then sometimes it's not like your body can no longer do those, kinetics. Can't do those gymnastics anymore. Those are the things. So that's why I think there's a proper understanding and thinking through the nuances that is very required here, that one has to put in here. So that's why I believe that maybe we should try to look at this subject based on subcategories or categories. Like, okay, what do you think in terms of politics? What age do you think works? You are a very political mind.
Okay, so
I love
as far as politics is concerned, in Nigeria, I remember in 2014, I couldn't vote. In fact, I have more political knowledge than almost even my pastor or anybody around me there. But
you believed, or you were deluded to believe that you have more political knowledge than them.
No. To me, they alluded that to me. They consider that they themselves believe that because there was a day I was actually giving a rebuttal to what Mommy Gio, Mommy Mission said, the pastor's wife. At the church. I know people were giving me standing ovation and clapping for me. People, a lot of that. Although I didn't see my phone at the end of the service. But that was it.
I think that's the perfect example of you won the battle and lost the war.
I lost the war. So I was like, but I couldn't vote. I couldn't vote that 2014. So at the end of the day, so there are actual limitations as far as politics go. Not until 35 can you become president of Nigeria. Even if you are Tinubu's son. You are Tinubu's son. You remember last election, they were asking this guy. They were asking Tinubu that one of your sons is contesting against you. They were referring to Oshibajo. He said he doesn't have a son that is old enough to run for presidency. So there are actually some things that are statutorily not possible within the law. Of course, it depends on the country you have. For instance, there's this Bukele, what's it called? Nayib Bukele of Ecuador. Is it Ecuador? No. What's their country's name? Something like that, our editor can No. All these countries that they stop crime. El Salvador. I know is that country that they adopted Bitcoin. Legal tender, blah blah blah. You see that usefulness. They adopted it and then they bought Bitcoin, and it has given them. They have like Bitcoin, and it has given them like almost 100% return since they bought it with several billions. But you see that IMF was telling them recently that they need to reduce their gold standard, Bitcoin being a standard, legal tender, blah, blah, blah. They need to reduce it, and they have to reduce it. But you see that that's more of youthful energy, but no, it might not be that grounded enough. There's just always that. So, some people will say, age, we need young leaders. It will fix our problem. Have you forgotten Tinubu was once young? Jonathan was very, very, very young. Showore is no longer a youth.
Sure.
And he has started being a youth. So all those, if we have younger leader, Nigeria will be better. Then there comes Yahaya Bello. I don't think there's a worse governor than Yahaya. Maybe him and Otom, they are dragging.
They are dragging the police.
They are dragging. But one of the worst governors, as far as me I'm concerned, is this guy, Yahaya Bello. And so age in that, as far as politics is concerned, sometimes it's not really.
So unless you are facing a statutory restriction like 35-year-old
That, so anybody can.
and 18
The only
years
problem
old
is that for real, if you are not coming from a privileged background, there's always a queue. And you cannot like say you want to like override that queue. See, Tinubu has queued since which year? He came 2023, one Peter Obi. There is also another person say he want to win election. And now there's one Showore that has not been a governor. So there's always that queue. So the age is always an advantage in politics at the end of the day, that you've been around, you've done this, you've installed this person as governor, you've installed this person as president, you've installed this as House of Rep and all of that. It will be at your advantage. So there's always that mix. But then just imagine Seyi Tinubu wants to run for Lagos State governor. It's not the same thing with just an average other dude. You understand? So in politics, age is a real factor.
So are you suggesting that we should join early or?
Yeah, join early. Join early. That's when you have the time will be at your advantage. Seyi Tinubu has been in the.
So what will it mean for me to say I joined the queue early or I started participating? Because I know that for a fact there's a secondary school alumni of mine, there is already one local government chairman or one whatever honorable. They are already calling him honorable or whatever. So and
another thing is that if you have the money, it will skip a lot of
Double promotion.
It will give you double promotion. You know some people do farashe. You know what they call farashe? They just by starving the years and all of that being there. But what you can get is, let's say special advisor or special assistant for media and this one, that one. It's just like a boy position. But when you come with money, that's when you can come and say you are going for.
Kebaba is already getting some essay positions and
he's getting some essay positions. But I can bet you if director goes in with bundles of dollars, few just give it 4 years. I say 4 years. He can vie for an elective position and he settles the necessary quotas. He just needs, this is my, in fact, in 4-8 years, it will have skipped several years.
Classic example is this guy, Buruji Kasham. Was he only in any position before he became?
Only any position, Kini.
The guy came in with hard currency.
He was giving people several empowerment program, blah, 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 blah. I think he became a senator.
Now, wait till they find
he became a senator. Straight up. He didn't end up becoming a governor. But he became a senator.
How about the governor of Oyo State, the current governor of Oyo State?
This guy, what was his name?
Seyi Makinde.
No, the person that was saying governor.
Ajimobi.
No, it wasn't Ajimobi. The person that was is he auxiliary or something like that.
Okay.
Only governor Ajimobi ni $1 like was saying it he was threatened by this current governor's dollar. And you say he won't later enter. You just need maybe 1 or 2 iterations.
Now hard currency are defined.
So go and find if you are not joining now, go and find that currency. There's always room.
So
for you.
what you are saying is that instead of using your usefulness to serve at the different quotas, you should rather go
and get.
So which one will you rather suggest the most? Will you use your usefulness to serve or actually find?
There's one thing I learned
because
from
I
you.
noticed one thing.
Okay.
It's very taxing to be in those quotas.
To be frank,
they will demand of you crazy.
You are a government worker. You are a civil servant, regardless. You understand? Of course,
there's something you learn from.
There's something that I learned from you, that actually is that there's always a blend. Actually, there's always a blend. Even if you are not going to be doing the boy essay and all of that, you can be known. See the way you were doing at our polling booths the other day, the way you were sharing stuff and then you were known, almost around there. Exactly. And then right now that you are building your influence in almost everywhere on TikTok, people know you and all that. Exactly. Those are grand works that you can actually be doing that will be strategic at the end of the time. You understand? So those are alternatives to that. But at the end of the day, you are being known politically. When you come around, you don't be like just one random dude from nowhere. So it's always important. There's always a blend.
I need to go and do my reassignment of my PVC so that I can be voting in Kwara State.
Exactly. Because another thing, politics is local. Politics is what? Local. If you are from...
Because you are serving... If you are using your youth to serve, you are from Osun, you are using your youth to serve in the Kwara State.
They will tell you, we don't know you.
By the time it is time, they tell you. So now, politics aside, Dan Smith, what do you have to say about career? How do you think people should just suppose how they should use their age, when it comes to career. I have seen people advise, I've seen advice on the internet that will say, work somewhere for 2 years, move to the next one. Work somewhere for 2 years, move to the next one. I've seen people that say, join a company that's going to go into big, that you are sure they have a commitment to go into big, and then work your ass to the top rank so that you can be part of the people that cash out. I've seen different strategies like that. So the first approach is more like you are using your youth to serve. The second is like, jump around so that I can increase your paycheck over time. So I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, I'm young, I'm 22, I'm 25, I'm 27, I'm 28. How should I use this next few years? And another thing I'm very concerned about is the fact that a lot of people, even in their 27, they still believe that they have a whole lot of years ahead of them. And they forgot that Agu Irosi, Muritala Mohammed, all of these guys, they were very young. They were just 27, 26, 20 something.
More was 27.
27.
27.
Because in youth. And they were already head of state. We will always list them. So, and I've seen even women that were like 27 and say they believe that they have a lot of years ahead of them to build their career. So, what do you think? How do you think people should structure their career knowing fully where the age factor, like putting the age factor in perspective?
Okay, thank you very much. Career-wise, there are two ways. Two school of thought. Some people believe jumping from one company to another, building their portfolio, give them higher leverage to catapult them to a higher level of their career. Why some people believe that, staying in one company, building with the company, building that portfolio with the company,
the stat actually says that you increase your salary by 2x by moving from company to company. Actually, there's a stat that the best form of salary jump is to move lateral, to move from one company to the other. That you get a salary job. The next company wants to match or beyond your existing, and then most people don't settle for an amount that is not beyond their existing paycheck. They'll be like, so why leave my existing? And because the strategy that most people adopt when they are moving from job to job is monkey branching, which is like they are still keeping this current job until they find one that can offer better. So they often have that leverage they have that negotiation leverage to demand as much as they can and not settle for something quite the same. Unless where they are currently working is really toxic, which is often not the case. So what's your advice for Gen Z? Like, how do we want them to look at their life? At one point, it's already too late, too early. And at one point, we say, find this kind of career, or what kind of career should you? Because it's really complex. I will tell you for a fact. It's really complex for modern kids to figure out how to navigate their career. It's so complex. They don't know whether to just go full-blown entrepreneurship, or they should keep at a job, or they should spend their youth learning skills, or there's just so many options. What would you suggest?
The thing is, with the advent of AI, it made it very, very hard for people to stick to one skill. Let's say you are learning, you've been learning how to do graphic design, and before you know it, ChatGPT is up with their graphics.
I learned that you people are skills, you even fire your graphic designer, you are using AI now.
Exactly.
Wow.
Back in 2019, 2020, 2021, there was a trend of developers having 2 jobs or 3 jobs and moving from one company to another. Right now, you can hardly see a developer having 2 jobs right now.
They can't even secure one.
Exactly. Because why? AI is everywhere. People are building.
I heard from one developer recently that he's using Codex to code most of his projects, And I was like, Mr. Developer, I said, there's nothing that is impossible with AI now. I was like, yeah.
You can even build your website in 5 minutes with KitKat. So you don't need somebody, you don't need to go and be hiring somebody to be coding website for you. So the thing is, you need to stay updated, right? Like me and Josh were having a conversation there. They said, will I advise somebody to go and be learning graphic design right now?
In 2025.
2025. And I think about it. I'm also doing this thing with ChatGPT. It won't take me 10 minutes to get it done. So why should I employ somebody and be paying?
There's a time that all this UI UX was a cruise. It's now. I don't know any wireframe that you want that even the entire code, the entire framework and everything, we design it for you. So what are you talking about? And there are all these AI agents that get it done really, really expertly. So what would be your advice, What would it not mean that someone somewhere is wasting their time right now? I think that's the question I really want you to answer.
For
What-
me,
what do you think we know?
I believe it is in constant learning and not staying put in one. Not resting on your laurels, right? Let's say you have a programming skills now. Don't just stay on that alone. Try to learn.
Do you know that I figured out 10 years ago or so? And I told Josh, I said 10 years, 8 years ago or so. And there was nothing like ChatGPT.
No, it might be 10, but you shared it with me like 8 years ago.
And there was nothing like ChatGPT. I'm serious. And I was already telling her that, nah, what I'm seeing in this market, my brother.
It was the ChatGPT that I was able to see it.
That you
Because
went-
after like until there are these AI coders.
That you realize that, oh,
Hey.
what I was saying was true. You are not that smart, hello, because you learned some HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Who are you?
Imagine people protesting on Twitter that the Silicon Valley company are trying to phase out developers.
Okay.
Yeah, why are they doing that? They
Oh,
want to
God.
render people jobless. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
Welcome to the new world. If you don't want to steal, you don't want to be still. You need to be on your toes and keep learning. Don't just say, okay, you have these certain skills and you want just want to sit
I don't
down.
know if you can give them direction to the learning thing, because have you seen some people that this person is always watching tutorial, always doing this one? They never get past that stage, but you are telling them to stay on their
Because to
toes
keep
and
learning
all.
itself
No.
seems redundant to me now.
Eh, no,
Because
because what
the
they are
AI is
learning-
learning faster than you. They are
Exactly.
feeding it with thousands of and millions of data per day, per minute, per seconds, and I don't know.
The thing is, no profession is safe. Right?
Everything's-
Even
everywhere is
even
like
the oldest profession known to man, prostitution is not even safe because they are not doing
So
sex robots.
Olosharp is not safe now. HPM is not safe. This is serious.
Wow.
Now let's shift perspective to, because career is a complex subject. Maybe we'll talk about it another day. But just stay on your toe. Try to keep up with opportunity. And one thing I would advise you is that build a personal brand as much as possible. Build a brand. Be known for something so that people want to be part of whatever you are doing. People will give you money just because they know you. I was at Stedina before a brand that we are promoting, Stro Wallet. In case you don't know, Editor prints Stro Wallet to the screen. It's an app for you to get an ATM card, get your POS, they provide a lot of solutions. All of the bank infrastructure you need is available. They will provide loan. So you can walk up to any Stro Wallet office and you secure yourself $1 million loan. So with that being said, I was at the office and they entertained us. We went there together. They booked the room, they do everything. And then when we were even going to press us money, I was like, this is not even part of our contract. And that's because I'm known. You know me, you are watching this, So perhaps you are even seeing this through ad. It's because I'm known. We want to be known. Building personal brand is very important in this time and age. Before we forget to mention, I think there are two things that is very important about finance. It's about your income and your consumption, right? And if the faster you could decide what constitutes healthy consumption for you, then the easier it is for you to figure out what income level that you want. Because I see that the problem with a lot of people is that they have these mirrors of things they want to do. I want to buy a car, I want to get a Ford, get this, that. That's why they keep wondering whether they are ready for marriage. You have to set the healthy boundary for, this is it. Because if you cannot increase your income, then you have to reduce your consumption. It's that simple. If you cannot increase so because you start saying, I remember that I made this video on TikTok where I was saying that if you are in a one-room apartment, you should not marry. And people were like, they went bazooka, they went crazy. That you are in one room, face me and start your apartment, you should never consider marriage. And a lot of people were like, so a poor man should not marry. I said, no. A poor man is not qualified for the requirement of marriage now. You didn't want. So what you are saying is that if you cannot afford at least, because my argument is that you should be able to afford one room self-con. That is a room and a parlor self-con. That is ensuite, right? And if you cannot afford that, that means if your wife is going to have a CS, you cannot afford it. That's what it means. So why are we boboing that guy? Why are we lying to him? Why are we making him be like his poverty deserve any praise? He cannot afford the things that may come up, that will likely come up, that will perhaps come up in his marriage. You know, those are the things that I see. You know, your mother-in-law will demand things. You will do birthday. You cannot afford because you are saying one room. And if you already put on all this billing of bringing a woman to your life and bringing a whole family, not even a woman, a whole family. In my area, the chairman of the landlord was telling me that his first daughter, the husband sent him 100,000 recently. I was like, okay. So husband of first of daughters to send money to. So you are going to send money to your father-in-law. Especially you that you are in one room apartment. That means you are probably going to marry another Almanjiri. Almanjiri will have father that will be expecting you to send money. Your father-in-law will have accident. They will expect you to go there to go and save them. To go and pay for the bill. Is that something you have done? For girlfriend, not even one that will marry. Imagine, billings are coming and you think, so if you cannot afford more than one room apartment already, don't even go and be putting yourself in the situation that is a situation. But the problem I have is that as you age, they are just emotional needs. You know, they're just, you know, the reality of emotional needs, you know. And I think that's something we should put in perspective. So as much as possible, use that need and desire to find the money and make it. Tracy, age factor. Which area do you want to come in, you know, and tell us about the age factor?
Maybe I should mention the fact that in a few days' time, I'll be entering an age where age now begins to sound very, very serious to me. Like in a week time, sef. So now,
okay.
Now, if even thinking about it already, sef, is already like giving me a kind of depression. So I don't arrive this age. Wow. So it's that kind of situation. So, and I know that many young people too are always going to be in that kind of scenario. But I don't know more. I don't have much to say, though, because like we are like that's part of what we are saying. That should I be giving opinion on this kind of thing without having lived it out yet?
Yeah.
Or I should wait until maybe I've finally lived it out. But I'll just say what I can say. Like the way I passed other ages too in the past. That it's like as long as one keeps preparing oneself, the age will come, you will get used to. People usually get used to their late 20s. Usually get used to their 30s. Because before I even clocked 20, I was always just like, somebody now clocked 20, what will happen? But once I became 20, I was like, so people used to live. So these are people used to live their early 20s. So it's always going to be like that. But I will come and give feedback after.
Well, this is what I will give as my final notes before everybody else go around. You want to age like wine, right? And I'm talking about proper wine. You know all those wine that actually age. All those, you know, you see Kinecan 1885, you know, first barrel, blah, 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 blah. You want to age like wine. And it's one of the things I've seen that pan out. My speaking ability, my writing ability, my coding ability, my, you know, people skills, you know, organization skills, all of that have come to age like wine. They get refined, they get better over time. And this is why you start picking up those things you want to. You know, when I started writing, I don't have any article that made $100. Now, I have articles that made a lot. I don't want to talk numbers because there's tax everywhere now. There's tax everywhere. I'm not mentioning any number now. But you get my point. When I started my writing, I don't have any article that make $10. But now I know how much some of my article makes. So I think you want to have skill that we age with time, right? When I started building my Facebook page, nothing was there, you know. Now, you know, this Facebook is doing better. So I want you to think of, you don't want to be aging. You don't want to be counting the numbers alone. You want to be aging better. Like, because all this, you can hold as a man, you can always marry in your 35 or in your 40. Only works if you are actually aging like wine. You are aging better. Like you are becoming better with time. Right? That is, more resources are coming to your hand. You can control more assets now. You have more calmness, more flexibility. You are building houses. You have these things. You have these cars. You have this. You know, you are getting more degrees. That's just the way we decided to get law degree. Now we are in this sitting. We have 3 LLB in view. Imagine that for a second. So we are aging better. So that's one thing I would advise. If you are not going to learn anything from this video, age better. Age like wine. You know, and don't ever sex for old age. right? And when I'm saying don't say 7, I'm saying at least you need to do it now. I went mountain climbing at Stadium and it was amazing. We get to the top of the mountain. In fact, we saw different. It's so cool. That altitude there, being able to look at the world from that view. It's. I think that was 18. So I want you guys to always have this at the back of your mind. Am I aging well? Am I aging like wine? What are the skills that is becoming better? With the fact that I age, that I'm having proper understanding of them. I'm having proper control and use of them. Any other final note from people?
Yeah. So like we've all said, age matters. Like time matters. Time is flying. Time is flying. There were things that are a plus to me now. Like the director was saying the other day that we're almost 10 years in business. 10 years, me can. I was like, I was like, wait, 19 me say enter this ring. Oh wow. So imagine that's like plus 10 years now. As an asset. Even the career he was talking about that time, they will still tell you that you need 10 years experience, you need 5 years experience. Oh yeah, now that you are just counting time, your time is just going. You are not counting where is the 10 years, where is the 5 years experience. So make while the sun shine. There's a poem that Beatrice used to like sing in primary school at that time. Make while the sun shine. It's very important. And 2 is that, like you said, you should age like like fine wine. I scored 257 in my A-day for JAMB. I scored 279 when I'm trying to like get law myself, and like just like that. So even though I know that that time that I used to like read like 257 like a big deal then as well. But even right now, I'm not talking about a better yesterday.
Couple of JAMB that none of us did less than 250 or something like that.
No, 270. That's it. Nobody did like a 270 whatever. John scored 280 something. So you even as an old man. So don't forget, it's actually it's always an advantage when if you can start early. Sure. Don't let anybody talk you out of whatever you want to do.
That's me. What's the final note?
If you can start early, start early. Like only pay Igba Lambura.
Yeah. When you get Busan go learn.
This thing. Sorry for cutting. I did mean this our beloved sister Toke Makinwa. I did mean she God blessed her early enough to have her own child. Having a child right now wouldn't be as big as it is now to her. But she's getting close to menopause. And God bless her with a baby, and everybody was just singing with her and happy with her, blah, blah, blah. But then, I didn't mean she had one a couple of years ago. It wouldn't be a big deal right now. So,
and she'll have those kids will have age.
Awesome.
That's interesting.
If you
were trying to make a point.
I was trying to like say that your plan should. I think you shared a quote with me from Jordan Peterson that your plan should like provide for catastrophe or should for what was that word? More like for hell. That can happen. So your plan should like have that inbuilt in that you should have figured out. More like you should have built dikes for whatever wants to happen. So like John was saying, if you are a lady, make sure you also have your own personal finance uptight before you say you want to get married. So just make sure whatever you are trying to do, you are choosing. Make sure even the days where you'll be in say for 28 days. Like we were at some point, you'll be able to ensure that, you make a lot of money while in the cell.
So I will like to just add that, you do also ensure that you can mark progress. So regardless of your age, whether you always be able to mark that I improved on this, I can now do this, I could not do it before. If you are not doing that, your years are passing by you and it's just wasting. That's just the reality. That's like a litmus test for whether your years are wasting or whether you are improving, whether you are getting better, whether years are not wasting, just passing by.
No, I thought Franz made this thing. I said, keep tracks of what counts and count what you keep track. It's very important. Right? Keep track of what counts and count what you keep track. So because if you keep track of your success, you'll be like, I've done this. I used to brag about this idea that I bought my first car when I was 23. Or I know people that probably bought their own first one 21 or something. But that's it. Like you keep track. You note. And there are many things that because I could do. I've done them very early. They don't come surprising to me. They don't push me in direction I don't want to go. So sometimes they say, "Oh, of course, you might use to chop akara, but then akara will no longer deceive you as you are going in your journey. Akara will no longer be like, oh, you thought akara is a 5 billion naira thing, like opportunity, and you pour your money into it. After you have learned the lesson, you stop seeing akara as a big deal. And then you move on from there. So with that being said, we'll meet you in the next episode of Rational Dialogue. Maybe this is season 4. I hope it is. We'll see you in episode 2. Cheers. Bye-bye.